So, Shakespeare has got his bizarre commission to persuade an aristocratic young man to marry, and more importantly, to provide the family with a male heir. And in his first 16 or so sonnets, Shakespeare manages to keep to his brief. Get married, have a son, get married, have a son. But they're walking, they're talking, walking by the river's edge perhaps, through the woods, they're lying by the lake, looking up at the sky, listening to the lark. Shakespeare, 30-something, on the cusp of middle age, probably going bald, no distinguishing features, someone you wouldn't look twice at in a London street. A jobbing writer, not the secular god he is now. And the boy, the young man, well, he is an Adonis, clearly. Grammar school educated, middle-aged man lying next to a demigod. Sonnet 18. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. And every fair from fair sometime declines by chance, or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest. Nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as men can breathe, or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. So now the young man's afterlife is not to be found in a child anymore. No, his immortality is in the poem. So long as men can breathe and eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. But does the poem really give life to the young man? Well, we've never found out who he was, and all we really know is that Shakespeare is besotted, enchanted, entranced. Sonnet 19. Devouring time, blunt thou the lion's paws, and make the earth devour her own sweet brood. Pluck the keen teeth from the fierce tiger's jaws, and burn the long-lived phoenix in her blood. Make glad and sorry seasons as thou fleets, and do whate'er thou wilt, swift-footed time, to the wide world and all her fading sweets. But I forbid thee one most heinous crime. O carve not with thy hours my love's fair brow, nor draw no lines there with thine antique pen. Him in thy course untainted do allow, for beauty's pattern to succeeding men. Yet do thy worst, old time. Despite thy wrong, My love shall live in my verse, ever young. So I will keep you young forever, locked in my verse. And then something of a return to the first sonnets, but now complicated by Shakespeare's growing obsession. A poem, number 20. A woman's face, with nature's own hand painted, hast thou, the master, mistress of my passion. A woman's gentle heart, but not acquainted with shifting change, as is false women's fashion. An eye more bright than theirs, less false in rolling, gilding the object whereupon it gazeth. A man in hue, all hues in his controlling, which steals men's eyes and women's souls amazeth. And for a woman wert thou first created, till nature, as she wrought thee, fell a doting, and by addition me of thee defeated, by adding one thing to my purpose nothing. But since she pricked thee out for women's pleasure, mine be thy love, and thy love's use their treasure. Yes, so there's misogyny here, a woman's gentle heart but not acquainted with shifting change, as is false women's fashions, an eye more bright than theirs, less false in rolling. And at the end, the couplet here, but since she pricked thee out for women's pleasure, mine be thy love and thy love's use their treasure. Well, what he's saying is that the real spiritual love is between you and me. But I have to accept that your penis is for them, for women. You can see that it's getting complicated, and soon to get even more complicated and messy.